my other computer so I can...
Yeah, you read the chat. Okay, I think we are a go. Can you check to see if it's ready?
Okay. I'm going to check. I don't see it in my subs. But let me go to your channel.
Okay.
GodzillaMendoza.
Let me know.
I should really subscribe to you.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
No, I'm not going to. Yeah, we are live.
Oh, sweet.
46 people watching.
Already? It's been like 2 seconds.
Looking stylish, my friends.
No.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate the glasses.
I just got out of the shower and my hair looks all shitty and wet because I'm bad at combing it. And also, it's way too long.
Yo, they got the face cams. Yeah. Except mine's kind of cut off, but whatever.
Now we can see most of you, I think, probably.
Well, we can see about half of me.
Really? Hold on, let me...
Oh, no, never mind. It's fine. Yeah, you can switch back and forth, I think. You can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I was just switching back and forth based on who's the primary conversation person in that particular moment. What's everyone saying?
Kind of cut off, more like kind of gay.
Oh, yeah.
Grow your hair long. Growing a beard like Dayvud.
That's to be expected. Well, David's gonna be Riker.
Oh yeah, I'm growing a beard because I'm gonna be dressing up as Commander Riker for Halloween, so I have to have a beard.
He's doing such a good job with the beard. I'm proud of him. You see, the glasses are when the stream roasts us, we'll be able to hide the fact that we're crying behind the glasses. Like, you ever see like a celebrity roast where they always have like really thick sunglasses on to hide their tears? It's like that.
Exactly. It's like that. David is gross. Thank you. I've always wanted to be called gross by some random person on the internet. That's really what I wanted out of today.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on Spider-Man Homecoming? We have talked a lot about Spider-Man Homecoming, and I don't think we have anything new to say at this point.
We've maybe done like 6 podcasts just talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. Go back through the rest of those. There's a lot to be said, and we've said.
So I think
as much.
We're gonna move away from questions, and we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation. So I texted you a couple of days ago, Xavier, that we said that I saw Grand Budapest Hotel, and you said that at school film fans talk about it. So tell me about
everyone at film school is just like absolutely in love with that movie because
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
To be clear, that's what it is.
Yeah, and they talk about it a lot. Basically in every class they have something to say about it, whether it be about the editing or the script writing or just the general production and as a whole. Like they talk about the way the script was written and refer to it as like line feeding, where it's like really quick back and forths, I think. And there's apparently some really nice editing that's kind of fast paced in it. Yeah,
there was some really great editing in it.
My post teacher talks about that a lot. But I've never seen it. I just know that a lot of people tell me it's great.
It's a good movie. I saw it like a couple days ago. It's good. It's funny because people
soda can as gently as possible so it doesn't just go next to the microphone and piss everyone off.
It's kind of hilarious because everybody talks about it as this great movie, but I thought it was very literary. It felt like a book. Like a good old book.
Well,
you know, like from the 19th century.
Yeah, I kind of like movies that are like there's certain movies that you can really tell are based on a novel just because there's such a weird...
It said inspired by the works of an Austrian writer from the 1930s. Stefan Zweig.
Stefano. Hey, I've been
Stefano?
Yeah, that's what that was just been on my mind. It's the name of one of the characters in Evil Within 2. That game is
Evil
great.
Within.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how Evil Within came out. I got it recently. It's really good. That's been like the first time we're in like I don't know, a couple of months where I was like, "Hey, a game announced at E3. I want to play that." And then it comes out and I play it and it doesn't disappoint the hell out of me. Like I think
that's very rare.
The other time that happened was Resident Evil 7. So we've got 2 for this year. 2 games that made Xavier really, really happy.
Yeah, this year was a pretty decent year for movies as well. I mean,
Yeah.
We got Baby Driver, which you haven't seen yet.
We got Blade Runner, which is probably like one
Which
of my
I haven't
favorite
seen
movies
yet.
ever now. I loved it.
So I haven't seen Blade Runner, and you haven't seen Baby Driver, but we both saw Logan, and that was good.
Logan is fantastic. That's absolutely like Oscar worthy. Patrick Stewart needs to win some kind of award.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's kind of bonkers that he hasn't yet. From the Academy. Like what the hell? Why of all people has Patrick Stewart not won an award?
Yeah, Patrick Stewart needs to have an awards. What do I think of the wines? What do I think of the Wolfenstein controversy? Wolfenstein controversy.
Oh, you mean Harvey
People
Wolfenstein?
don't like that. People are offended that Wolfenstein is saying that Nazis are bad, which shouldn't be a thing that people are offended about.
Okay.
Like, of all the things that we are not agreed on, it's that Nazis are bad.
Well, hold on. Maybe just hear them out. Maybe they have a point. No, I'm just kidding. It's the dumbest thing you could. There's no excuse. That's one of the dumbest controversies on the internet.
It is.
Like people refer to getting offended by everything as outrage culture. I think that's like one of the biggest examples of that in the past like 3 years. I mean, of course there are people who are like, Black Panther doesn't have enough actual African actors. They're all just African Americans. It's not culturally accurate. Like, that's stupid. That's a dumb thing to complain about. And then there's, well, you know, I didn't know that Bethesda and id Software were a bunch of SJWs for killing...
For a game about killing Nazis?
A game about killing cyborg Nazis?
And I've got another topic on that in terms of people being stupidly pissed off. Did you hear that there's the big controversy about, or controversy would be better way of saying it, is that about a Disney Channel TV show having a gay character?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's all you need to say about it, really.
I'm more offended that it's a Disney Channel show because, as we know, since the 2010s, started, those have taken a dip in quality. I'll have you know. You know, we used to have classics like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and That's So Raven, and everyone's favorite anime, Cory in the House. But
and by the way, random person on the stream, we are not using Skype. We're using Google Hangouts.
It's slightly less shitty and actually works with our microphones.
Yeah, it does.
Especially David's. His has some problems.
Yeah, mine is super fancy, so. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, somebody did say a good comment in the streams that Nickelodeon had a gay character and no one batted an eye, and that's because that, like, Disney has this sort of weird thing where where people sort of think of them as like this as a role model. You're supposed to model yourself after this for some dumb reason. So when Disney has a gay character, oh no, Disney is pushing the gay agenda. But when a movie about a gay black guy wins Best Picture, nobody cares. Because that's not the soul of America.
That's one of those things. I mean, hey, isn't Disney kind of like associated with anti-Semitism because of what Walt was into back in the day?
Yep. Did Walt believe? I don't remember if he believed. I don't know.
I never really took the time to go like research into that and find out exactly why everyone says Walt Disney was basically a crazy Hitler-loving psycho. Like they've got. I
don't think he was that bad.
They've really exaggerated the extent.
He did have some weird views. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care.
I mean, he looked like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and anybody who looks like Tom Hanks is automatically terrible. But except for Tom Hanks, he's amazing.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks, he's great. The Burbs is an amazing film. It's about a quiet suburban neighborhood where a guy starts to suspect that his neighbors have killed and buried someone in their backyard, And every time he tries to rally his other neighbors to go find proof and get them in trouble, something crazy always happens, and they always go, damn, we couldn't get him this time. You know? It's a good movie.
Also, I have not seen any of the Toy Story movies.
You haven't seen any Toy Story movies?
Nope. Not a single one.
What's wrong with you? What's the deal with the Dayvud food? I don't know. This is a Seinfeld joke. But still, no, what? Haha, that's dumb. You should watch those. Or at least the first two. The third one's just kind of like
I've heard that they're good, but they're not really... Oh, everybody in the comments is going, what? How dare you?
Me for saying just watch the first two?
No, they're saying how dare me not see Toy Story.
That's one of those like great American classics. You got to see that one. I mean, you could watch the first two. The third one's kind of like plot-wise an exact duplicate of the second one. And, I mean, it's still good. It has its own merit and a lot of funny scenes. But I think I was happier with the way the story ended at the second one. But I know a lot of people like the closure of the third one just because it ends on a really, really neat scene. But yes, definitely look at those. Those are great movies.
Do you want to read some more Sonic High School?
No!
So that was a lot of fun.
I don't want to read more Sonic High School, you son of a bitch.
It gets really weird.
Did you skip ahead?
I've read ahead. It gets really weird.
Does it start,
I've read up
like,
to chapter 16.
Graphically describing the penetration?
It gets weirder than that.
How? What? Does Sonic use his super speed in the bedroom?
No. Sonic isn't in any of the sex scenes. But he does. But let's just say that Knuckles becomes a baby.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
He becomes a baby.
No, that's dumb.
He becomes a baby.
What else weird happens?
Knuckles and Espio fight each other, and then they end up and then they start furiously making out, and then Knuckles flies into the sky with a spit connecting him to Knuckles' mouth.
And then Knuckles connects to Knuckles' mouth.
No, Espio to Knuckles' mouth.
Oh, okay.
And then Knuckles flies into Rouge's mouth, and then pops out of her butt as a baby.
What? I refuse to believe this is a real thing that someone spent several years writing.
They spent several months. It was written all in 2012.
How the fuck did they write that much in only a couple of months?
Sex scene?
Well, I mean, did you see how long it was? Wasn't it like 100?
It's very it's 36K words.
Okay.
26 chapters.
How long are the Lord of the Rings books by comparison?
Well, I was comparing Lord of the Rings to another fanfiction, not this one.
Okay.
Thanks for the guy from England for watching, even though it's really late over there. We appreciate your viewership.
Yeah, we appreciate you showing up. We tried to make sure it'd be in like the middle of the day for our folks in the U.S. and Canada. But we apologize to everyone overseas who has to watch this at like 2 a.m. But stream will be archived, so you can check it out there.
So do you want me to read the sex scene? This is chapter 6.
No, I don't.
Espio walked to Rouge's house. Espio walked to Rouge's house because it was time for their date together.
One sec. Before we get into the graphic sex scene.
Okay.
Okay, ready? This broadcast brought to you by the fine folks at T-Blocks. T-Blocks is an affordable subscription-based service that delivers custom t-shirts straight to your doorstep. With licensed art from Marvel, DC, Disney, Star Wars, Naruto, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and a whole lot more. You can get 10% off your first order with the special promo code GodzillaTBX, which you can find in the description. Go get some cool t-shirts, boys and girls. All right, continue.
Yeah, remember there's a
sex scene, you pervert.
Yeah, remember that's sponsored, so go and buy the t-shirt thingies.
Go get some t-shirts. It'll be great.
SBO walked to Rouge's house because it was time for their date together. And all SBO could think about was that they were about to make sex for their first time. SBO looked at the computer and read about what to do and what the right words were so he could know how it works and how to say it right so no one would make fun of him. It was Rouge's house he was at now, and it was in front of him. SBO knocked Rouge's house door. "I hope she is home," said SBO, and she was. She opened the door just then. "Hello, I'm home," said Rouge, looking always sexy in her tiny baby bra and big cool boobs. SBO thought she looked like the hottest woman in the world that he could see from here. It's the hottest woman in the world that I can see right now. Now, there's other ones out there, but I can see this one right now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so maybe there's like another girl walking down the street who's not as hot, and that's his frame of reference. It's like hottest girl in the world that I can see currently, because that one's not so much. But this one, really doing it for me right now.
"Where are you taking me on our date tonight?" whispered Rouge in a sex-filled voice. SBO had thought this one over on the way over so that he could say it right the first time and get her to do what he wanted. That's sex. "Well," said SBO, "just let me put on this science hat and we will begin sex." Rouge looked shocked.
The people at T-Blocks are going to watch this and fire me.
Rouge looked shocked, but she probably was excited too. SBO could tell they both had an erection.
Why do you like this?
They both have erections. So, what's that say about her anatomy? SBO and Rouge both have erections.
What?
What? Said Rouge in a shocked way. Right here?
Oh, SBO I accidentally read off one of the lines, I guess.
Yes. This hat was made by Tails specifically for our date. Specifically, not specifically. Pacifically.
What's your favorite movie? Pacific Rim.
It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear while I'm wearing it. SBO did a cool face at her because being smart can be cool as long as you're not a nerd ass. Rouge said, "Okay, let's go inside," and gently grabbed SBO's hand. But he pulled it back, and she fell, causing him to fall, and they both fell onto the grass where they rolled around in it until they were about in the middle of Rouge's house lawn, so there was plenty of room around them for activities. "No," said SBO. "I want to make sex in you right here." That's hot. "I want to make sex in you right here."
I want to make deep, angry, Sonic-based sex. Do you think Sonic ever uses any of the rings?
There's a reason they're called traps, and David fell right into it. Rouge is a trap.
That's the story?
No, Rouge it's a joke because they said they both had erections.
Okay. What's the chat saying? I kind of want to hear what they have to say. We've been neglecting them a little.
Sonic, I'm not going to repeat that on the stream.
I will. Hold on.
I'm trying. Sonic, are you okay? David, are you okay? Are you having a stroke? No, I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh, David, Joey just messaged me. He said, "I just left the stream. Yeah. Let me know when David is done with Sonic fanfiction."
And SBO put on the invisibility hat so nobody could see or hear them, and a whole new world of possibilities were optioned to them so they could do sex in whatever way they wanted, and it was time to start sex right now. Listen to this. Come on. Come over here. Listen to this.
I was looking at the chat on my phone.
SBO revealed his penis to Rouge, who looked at it. Rouge said, "Cool," and took out her vagina. I don't think you... How do you take out? That's not how it works. SBO's penis was really big from looking at Rouge like when he is in church and it's so boring, but you just get a boner anyway. Rouge's
Who do you think would
vagina.
win in a fight, Daredevil versus Arrow? Probably Daredevil because he has an advantage and he could probably catch arrows. Someone
Hey,
says,
come
I'm
on.
dying of cancer, but he spelled it wrong.
Hey, come on. Rouge's vagina looked like
Oh,
a
hey, Scrubs
surprise.
is here. What's up, man?
Hey, come on. Stop it. I need to listen. Listen to this line. Listen.
I don't
Listen.
wanna. I don't wanna do this.
Listen.
You
Listen.
force me to do these things. I don't wanna.
Listen.
You're an
Rouge's
abusive husband.
Listen. Rouge's vagina looked like a surprised ghost. SPO's penis approached Rouge like a plane flying down at the airport, but instead of being full of businessmen, it was full of SPO's creamy Italian salsa dressing. No, they will not mute me. They can't stop me.
Okay, so we're gonna be done with that now. Moving on to the next topic. Let's take a look at the chat here.
I'm just gonna say that somehow sex for this involved putting his penis in her belly button.
Okay, someone asked what I thought was the best movie of the year. I don't know. I really like Blade Runner 2049. I know that it's just fallen the fuck apart. No one watched it. It'll never get a sequel. Which everyone said about the original one.
What will?
The Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner, I kind of saw that one coming. Because, let's be honest, Blade Runner is the movie that nobody's seen, but everybody says they want to see. So who's really surprised that with the sequel, everybody says they want to see it, but nobody sees it? There you go.
Oh, I mean, you know, when you have like understated action scenes, like the action scenes are cool, but they're kind of they're spaced out a lot, so it's not like a Michael Bay movie where it's just like one set piece exploding and then the next one exploding, and then you just kind of get like tired. No, they try to pace it out so the action scenes are, while they're cool, they're very short and succinct, and you go, wow, that was awesome. I hope we get to see another one. The acting is very solid because I think the script writing is very solid. I think that some of the subtext was a little on the nose, like certain characters' motivations kept getting kind of literally spelled out for you by an advertisement on a billboard, and they could have probably reeled it back a little with that.
It's semen time. All I'm saying is that this
Blade Runner
sex
2 need a sequel? No, but they set themselves up for one, and it would be like this really, really giant, epic, universe-sweeping movie if they did. Like it would be like a really amazing, giant third installment. Like they took the first one was a relatively simple, down-to-earth story about one guy just running around killing a bunch of rogue robots. The second one kind of tried to blow that to a bigger proportion so that it expanded the world more and gave like bigger character factions to interact. So it's not necessarily just like one guy versus 3 people. It's like 500 people versus 2,000 people or something. And they kind of set themselves up for like the third one just being an all-out war, and I thought that would have been neat because that world is just so neat. And
bear in mind that I have
Batman versus Dracula. I sure have. That used to freak me out as a kid because it was so dark for a cartoon, and there was a lot of scenes where Dracula was just, without a doubt, just drinking actual blood. Like he was biting people. There were bleeding. He was busting into a blood bank and drinking blood packs. There was like kind of some gore. It was really hardcore for a Batman animated film as of like 2005 or whenever it came out. So, you know, like by today's standards, when you have like stuff like Rated R Killing Joke, it kind of seems like you know, for babbies. But back then that was really awesome. I liked how far it went. Penguin Vampire Minion. Yeah, that was a thing in there.
beep lettuce.
Uh, Xavier, how'd your date go? That's private. But okay, hold on. Thoughts on the Spectacular Spider-Man comic series by Chip Zdarsky so far?
Oh, Chip. Chippy chip chip. Chippity doo dah, chippity doo.
Funny guy.
My oh my, what a chippity day.
I think Chip Zdarsky is a funny guy. I like his art. I think he's a great artist. I really liked his Star-Lord series that he was writing. Even though it was really toned down and kind of small scale as a story, because it was like, what if Star-Lord was stuck on Earth for a little while, just doing like normal people stuff and sucking at it, and then decides to try to be a superhero on Earth, and it was all right. I liked it. I'd recommend that one. I think he sucks at writing Spider-Man, because his version of Spider-Man is just some like socially inept goofball who runs around just screwing up everything. And while I make jokes about that like in videos, I don't think that should be like the official interpretation in the fucking comics. There's a whole issue where Spider-Man goes on a date, and then the barista tells him that the coffee is going to be more expensive than he thought it would be, and he's like upset about that. But you know, he sits down with his date and they start talking about her job, because she's a stand-up comedian, right? And, you know, earlier that day, he was supposed to be hanging out with Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, but kind of blew him off because he prioritized the date. So Human Torch shows up there and starts making the room a little bit hotter so that Spider-Man's really sweaty and nervous on his date, right? Does this sound at all like an action story to you, or like an adventure
Yeah, that
story?
sounds action-packed.
It's basically an episode of Seinfeld, but everyone's wearing superhero costumes. It's really abysmal. That of all the things you could do with Spider-Man, you're like, let's just have him go on a date. Just like, there's a fight scene with Kingpin in like the next issue after that, I think, but it's just so boring, and they spend like 90% of it just talking, and I'm not a fan. I was excited at first because of the way Chip Zdarsky pitched the book. Sounded exactly like a Spider-Man book out of the 70s or 80s, which I was super excited for. Upon seeing his execution, he did not give anything he promised, and I'm very upset. Xavier, are you going to do a Let's Play of Lego Marvel Superheroes 2? I don't know, I might do a review of it.
So here's another... So I've got an editorial for you that I want to pitch, that I'm going to talk about. I want to rant. I have a rant, okay? Well, it's not really a rant, it's more of a thing.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. Why does
Ben Grimm on screen?
Why does Netflix release all of their episodes of a show at once?
Because people.
What's the benefit of that? I think it's a terrible idea. I think that
because people like binge watching.
I think that people, they do like it, but I think it's ultimately not a very rewarding experience. In my opinion, they should do what Star Trek Discovery has been doing and what Amazon did with the Grand Tour, where they should release one episode a week. I think that's a bit more of a fun experience, because if you think about it, binge watching kind of takes the fun out of talking about a show with your friends. Because if you're binging it and your friends are all binging it, you can't just say like, "Oh, hey, do you see the latest episode?" And you can't talk about it, because you're all at different points within the 9-hour series.
Yeah. So if I'm only at, like, let's say for Stranger Things season 2, I'm only 5 episodes in.
I'm 4 episodes in. I can't talk about episode 5 because I haven't seen it yet. And if you're talking about it, you're constantly thinking about, do I spoil this? Do I not spoil this? So it's not really fun for us to talk about it because we're at different points in the show. So if you have 1 episode a week, it's easier for everybody to get caught up on it, and we can all have fun conversations during the week. Oh, what do you think about this? What's this going to happen in the next episode? It's
I can see that. Like,
it's more of a fun experience.
That was kind of the fun of Breaking Bad as it was coming out, is you could be like,
yeah,
holy shit, dude, did you just see that new episode where Walt did X crazy thing? And then they could be like, yeah, dude, I can't wait to see what happens next episode. Like, do you think this guy's going to die? Do you think this guy's going to try this? I don't know. I think maybe this character, his motivation would imply that he'd probably do that. You know, it was fun trying to predict what happens next. With binge watching, it's just kind of, you sit there for 9 hours and then kind of give like a post-mortem talk about it with your buddy. Like, yeah, what'd you think of the whole season?
It was okay.
It kind of started to drag around episode 6.
Yeah, and the other part from the business
with
side of things
was way less interesting than the one with Punisher.
I mean, if you think about it from the business side as well, like, you get more publicity from your show if you don't have it all at once. Because if it's all at once, then you have a big publicity weekend, and then it all disappears. I mean, who talks about the Defenders anymore? It was like, oh, look, here's the Defenders. Okay, it's gone. Unless you have something like Stranger Things where everybody watches it, there's not that much conversation anymore after it, which doesn't make it as much of a community, which makes it not as fun.
You know, when you asked the question, I wasn't really 100% on board, but now that you've explained it, I think I'm kind of coming around to your idea. Like, I think there's a place in the world for binge watching, but I do understand that.
I like binge watching when it's not something new, when it's like, oh, I'm going to pick up Stargate for the first time and watch 8 seasons and then realize I was wasting my life. Yeah. Something like that. That's what you do with binge watching.
Someone asked if I think Moon Knight would be a good Marvel Netflix show. Yes, but I'm worried they would screw it up.
They'd make it too gritty and down to earth and not weird enough.
It needs to be like kind of like abstract and psychedelic and bizarre. Like I would only be happy with it if it was by like the showrunner of Legion.
So it'd be more of an FX thing with
yeah, that would be better.
With what's his name? There's a guy. He was behind Fargo and Legion. He's got a name.
I have no idea who.
Noah Hawley, I think.
Someone says I should read Venomverse. I actually did read it, and I also did a giant rant about it on Twitter about all kinds of stuff that I thought was wrong with it, but also cool with it. It kind of think of it as like a mini review. So if you go look on my Twitter and just go search Venomverse, you could probably find the thread.
Yeah, it's Noah Hawley. He's the creator, and he wrote it, and he's also a big director on it.
How do I feel about Runaways upcoming on Hulu? Have you heard of Runaways?
Nope. Oh, well, I've seen the ads, but I haven't really investigated it at all.
It's another Marvel Cinematic Universe property. It's based on a comic called Runaways, and having not read the Runaways comic, which is on my list, I've been meaning to get around to it. It does not look interesting to me. This is gonna sound really weird and hypocritical, but I just can't stand shows about teenagers because I think teenager culture is really obnoxious and stupid. I hate people my age. I hate drama. I hate love triangles. I hate, man, no one understands me. School is so rough. That stuff's boring to me. Like, only one, maybe 2 stories have ever really kind of interested me with that component in them. One of them, I'm pretty sure you can all guess what it is, like a teenage superhero. I think.
Is it Spider-Gwen?
Yes, Spider-Gwen, obviously. Totally. Big Spider-Gwen fan. But, yeah, I'm not too interested in Runaways. I don't really feel like checking it out. Someone.
What do you think of New Mutants? We talked about New Mutants a couple of the podcasts ago, so go and check that one out.
Basically, I think
we're
it's the
open-minded,
most impassionate-looking show ever, and I feel like everyone working on it didn't want to be
No, it's not Inhumans. It's New Mutants.
Oh, New Mutants. Sorry, Inhumans.
I said New Mutants because the person who typed it in the chat said New Mutants and not New Mutants.
Okay, I misheard you. New Mutants. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool that they're taking a different stance on it. They're like, instead of just another generic superhero thing that you've seen a billion times, we'll at least try to have it be like a horror movie. Which is
animators,
like accurate to some of the comic runs, but I haven't read those.
Animators who are watching this, somebody needs to animate the podcast where we read Sonic fanfiction.
Oh yeah, that last one with Kyle.
Yeah,
That would
that
be
would
a
be
pretty funny
amazing.
animation.
I have one other thought about Stranger Things that I'd like to share if you don't mind.
Okay, someone is messaging me on Twitter and blowing me up about uh asking to join the stream. No, thank you.
Somebody is yeah, so here's my thought about Stranger Things is Stranger Things is teaching us all about how to do nostalgia. What do you think? Like how to do 80s retro stuff.
Without
Because
it being like
because
obnoxious.
it's taking the tone and the sort of it's taking the tone of that stories while they're not being obnoxious about how hey you're in the 80s, remember, you're in the 80s, and it's not being obnoxious about it, so I like it. It
Well, I think
like
season 2 so far, as much as I've watched, has had a lot more like licensed 80s music. Like, hey, check it out, we're in the 80s. Remember this song that was popular then? It was in the top 10 list of like 1982 or some shit.
yeah
There was a lot less of that in the first season, but that's like a minor thing, and that's more of like the
yeah
editor's
I
fault.
mean compared to something like compared to Ready Player One, it's a lot better.
Oh wow, someone's
Take off
drawing me a
those
Punisher tattoo design. Thank you, that's really
take off
cool.
those glasses. Hey, take off those glasses.
It's like a reverse of the They Live fight scene.
Now put them back on.
You
Put them
take
back
off
on.
your glasses, sir.
No.
Do it. Take them off.
Or put extra glasses on.
Now you have extreme vision. You can see into the future.
Why are we wearing sunglasses? Because I stole these from my roommate, and then I just thought, why not go with the theme of the sunglasses gang?
I stole these from my grandma.
And those are the ones that he also wore in my X-Men 3 retrospective when he played Cyclops.
Yeah, yeah. If anyone hasn't checked that video out, there's a really cool scene in there for his review of X-Men 3, where he tries to demonstrate a better way to edit and shoot a certain scene.
Just to make a point that the overall movie doesn't really have that much heart in the editing or the cinematography.
Yeah, so he takes the scene where Cyclops is standing at the edge of the lake, freaking out because Jean Grey is, like, messing with his head. And then he reenacted it with me in place of Cyclops. Like, I did my hair up the same way as Cyclops in that scene. I put on glasses and a leather jacket and, like, boots and jeans. And I stood there on the edge of an actual lake that we live nearby. And then we just kind of, like, reenacted the scene, but he filmed it from like way different angles and edited it in a way more interesting way, and it was just like another fun thing that we got to film together before he died. Sadly.
Yeah, I'm totally dead right now.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking to you from beyond the grave, aka and the grave is known as the Midwest.
Even in death, he's still hypercritical.
The Midwest is dead.
Could they get a link to that?
Link to that?
To the X-Men thing? Well, I can't really go get a link to it without like derailing the face cam to go like search for it. But I guess I could. Would that be okay with you?
Well, I mean, I can just. I mean, I don't think we really just search X-Men Retrospective Part 3 and go to my channel.
Okay, hang on.
Or go to my channel. Cautiously Realistic, and it's right in there.
Okay, here we go. Let's check it out, everyone. Let's watch it live. We're gonna go to David's channel.
It's so cringy.
Why? What's cringy?
I just do it.
What?
And you'll see.
The clip from the video? Where is it? Part 3. Here we go. This is like a 21-minute video, so which part is it at?
I'm gonna go skip through it, and I'll tell you the time code.
Okay. I think it was like right here-ish. Like 14:30.
No, 16. 16:20.
Okay. Here we go.
I would direct it.
That's 16:30, but whatever. No, you're way past it. There you go. 16, not 15.
Stop talking.
No. Is this the original version?
Stop. Stop it. Stop it.
See?
Yes, I do see, sir. That was fun. I mean, it was kind of obnoxious because there was, like, right off screen, and you were very careful to hide this. We were right next to a dock that, like, a bunch of kids on a boat were, they were getting off the boat.
You can stop the video now.
I did.
And put it on the... Hi.
Yeah, there's a delay, David. I'm doing fine being the stream MC. But anyway.
You're not you're the stream C?
Yeah, the stream C.
So everybody go and watch my video, because it's amazing. But watch this first.
So...
Gingers have no souls. Can confirm.
Yeah. You know, it's a really original, clever joke. I have never heard that before.
Well, I know you personally, so I can confirm.
Does anyone else want to ask me if I'm a member of the Weasley family? Yeah, that's really
X-Men
clever.
Retrospective Part 4. I'm working on it. I'm just doing other stuff first.
Okay. But anyway, speaking of retrospectives, I'm working on a Hulk retrospective. But,
for the games or for the movies?
Games, and
because I'd like to hear your opinion on the Lou Ferrigno Hulk from the 70s.
Like actually, like, do you actually want to?
I would watch a review of you doing that, talking about Lou Ferrigno
through the lens of, like, how comic book accurate is it as of the 70s?
Do it. I would watch that.
Maybe someday. I mean, here's the thing. I have, like, no shortage of things to review. There's so many video games, so many movies, so many cartoons. I could... Plus, if I ever started to actually kind of run out, I could just start reviewing actual comics on their own. I have...
You could become Linkara.
Limitless supply.
You could become Linkara one day.
You know, I've actually been kind of afraid of comparisons to him, so that's one of the reasons I've avoided directly just reviewing comics on their own. But, I mean, you know, I guess. I've tried to also avoid his videos so I don't accidentally, like, parrot something he says.
Gingers are always depressed. Can confirm.
Spider-Man says, by the way, it's my birthday. I'm 14 now. Happy birthday. Why do you hate Ultimate Spider-Man, Xavier? What do you mean, the comic or the show? Because the
all of them.
Right. Comic is all right. The designs for Contest of Slashers are dope. Yeah, thanks to Brennan for those. He did a great job on them.
Hey, remember when Ghost in the Shell was actually a thing that was going to happen? Remember when that just
did happen?
Remember when that just completely bombed?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Was that this year?
That was this year. It came out in March.
It feels like an eternity ago. I feel like that was like a 2015 thing.
That was a 2017 thing. Ghost in the Shell, the movie. Remember when nobody cared about it?
Yeah. You mean 5 minutes ago? Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that because I ran across the trailer and I just thought about how much of an epic fail it was. Because it was kind of funny because there were 3 movies this year.
Epic fail unironically.
Who doesn't say epic fail unironically? It didn't make its budget back. Here's the thing. I was going to talk about this, but here's a good example about it. Movie studios do not get 100% of the box office gross. They usually get close to 40%. So it did not break even. Plus, there's budget, and then there's marketing budget, which they don't reveal. So it did not make its money back. I'd estimate they lost millions of dollars on that.
Josh is an idiot. He couldn't figure out the stream overlay when we were streaming Spider-Man. I figured it out in like 5 minutes when we were setting this up.
So I wrote a video about this a while ago, talking about how nobody really understands box office numbers. Like, there was an episode of Red Letter Media called Breaking Down Box Office Numbers, which was just hugely factually incorrect. So
what's up, motherfuckers? Are you streaming?
Stream crashed by David's roommate. Shout out to that guy. He's done this like 6 times on the podcast, but usually they're not live, so we don't have to worry about it because David can just edit it out. There's one podcast that I was supposed to edit and release, but I didn't because I got a little lazy. But you know, yeah. But anyway, shit, I should find something to talk about. Are you gonna do a Let's Play of Spider-Man PS4? No. I'll do a review on it, but not a Let's Play. Or if I do a Let's Play, it'll be after I get done reviewing it. Because if you're playing through a video game for the first time and you're doing a Let's Play, you're gonna be, like, half focused on it and wanting to, like, spend most of your time talking. Like, I know this from when I played Outlast 2. Eventually I went through and played through it all the way by myself and still hated it. But when you're trying to do a Let's Play, you always end up focusing a little bit too much on talking. So I feel like it would kind of like lessen my experience with the game or make it harder for me to enjoy. Because then I'd be just rambling at it and it wouldn't really be like engaging me. So it would hurt the review if I played through it as a Let's Play, then did a review based on that. So I'd want to do that second.
all gingers are transgender and homosexual. Can confirm.
Someone said, someone asked me if I'm gonna make a better Batman costume earlier. I don't know who said that. I think it was Dark Knight fan. No, I think my Batman costume was hilarious because I threw it together in like a single afternoon, and it was supposed to be.
The point
shitty.
of that was supposed to be it's really crappy.
I'm actually really happy with how your Riddler costume came out for that. It looked pretty good for something thrown together in a relatively quick amount of time. Like, we just, in a single day, we were just like, hey, let's go on a random shopping spree getting, like, costume parts for this dumb thing. So, we bought you, like, a women's jacket that was black and then spray painted it green, and purple, I think. And then put, like, a giant question mark on the back, and then we couldn't find a hat for you for the life of us, so we found a black one and then painted that, and then immediately, like 5 minutes later, after we got done with it, we went to a different store just to go get groceries, and then we found a green bowler hat, and I was like, God damn it! Xavier,
I think I've still got some. I think I've still got some pictures from the day when he made the Spider-Man costume, and from the day he did this. And here's one of them.
Oh yeah, I love that picture. I think you posted that on Twitter.
It's Xavier giving the middle finger to the audience as Batman. It's amazing.
Oh, I guess the dryer is done. Hold on, is Dane in the stream? Oh hey, he's talking to Joey. Joey and Dane are some two cool fellas. I appreciate those guys. They're really cool. What are your thoughts on the Spider-Man? On a potential Spider-Man 2099 Netflix series. Oh, they would never be able to do that. That budget would be way too high. Or if they did,
you hear,
they would have to make it look not as cool.
Hey, did you hear when there was the title that Netflix wanted to borrow an extra $1.6 billion to spend on content? They want a huge budget for content on Netflix. And here's my problem with that. Buying $1.6 million of hot dogs isn't going to make me want to buy hot dogs if I want turkey.
I feel like we always end up going back to some kind of food-based allegory that involves turkey.
Well, I love turkey sandwiches. That is your best video that you've ever made or ever will make.
Wow, thanks for the vote of confidence.
You can trust me. I'm always good for that.
that video that you showed up late for and didn't help on?
I had a dental appointment, okay?
Yeah. Everyone had a dental appointment. You know how hard it was to film that? Because I had like 20 extras lined up, and then maybe like 16 of them canceled like 5 minutes before we were about to shoot. Like, they just were like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Like Jackson.
Nerd.
Jackson, that bastard. I was like, hey, you wanna come help and film? And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. And then he texted me like later, and he's like, yeah, I slept in till 4 p.m., so sorry.
Who needs Jackson anyway?
Man,
He's only Jackson.
He can go get his astronaut degree and go to space and die for all I care. He can get killed by an alien.
Yeah, everybody's killed by aliens in space. I mean, all the people who have gone to
Ryan
space...
Reynolds.
Everybody who has gone to space has been killed by aliens. Are you telling me that you don't know this?
How did I make your screen, like, widescreen? Because a second ago it was, like, kind of letterboxed on the sides.
I don't know.
But then I clicked on it a little bit too much, and it... Hey, look, here's my mouse. It's on your nose.
Cool, I don't care.
Stop hiding your true emotions. Don't be
Wow.
afraid to care.
It's amazing.
What?
It went widescreen just as I put my face right in front of the camera.
Still doing the mouse thing on your nose. Anyway, let's go look at more viewer questions.
No. All right, let's read some more fan fiction.
Did you finish Batman Abyss fan series? Oh, yes. I watched like the first 2 episodes of that. I thought it was really cool. Kind of reminded me of like Judge Dredd.
No, it is not Tom Holland in the reflection of her glasses.
But I didn't get around to the rest of it. Turkey sandwiches for all. Michael Coda asks, how's it going? It's going all right. Doing a live stream. You know? So
I have a question for you. What's the most embarrassing movie that you've cried at that's made you feel something that you're kind of embarrassed that you felt something about? Or did that ever happen to you? Is that just me?
I'm trying to think. Like, what was the last time I got really emotional at a movie?
Well, there's Logan. I got really emotional in that one.
I kind of predicted how that was going to go.
I mean, you kind of knew it. I mean, you already knew that it was going to happen, but it was also very sad when it did happen.
Yeah.
Another one that happened for me was the Spock documentary, For the Love of Spock. It's kind of embarrassing to admit that I get sad at that, but the ending, you're like, oh, the feels.
Oh, Leonard Nimoy died. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's Leonard Nimoy, so you wouldn't... I mean, who wouldn't get sad when he died?
Sad. She cried all day when Leonard Nimoy died because she's like, like she loves Spock specifically, like old Star Trek. Apparently, like when she was a kid, that was her first crush on TV was Spock, and she was so beside herself because she has a signature from all of the currently living Star Trek peoples. She was gonna wait till Spock would eventually show up at Comic-Con and get... Because she has this t-shirt that she has a signature from all of them on. And she was gonna wait till he showed up at Comic-Con and have him sign it so she could have the full set. Because it's a Spock t-shirt. And then he passed away and she's like, damn it. But she has a shirt that has the signature of all of the ones that are currently alive.
Wow, that's too bad.
Morbid fact, that thing's probably gonna get a lot more valuable as they stop being alive.
Yeah.
Isn't that really fucked up? Is that, like, your stuff you own is way more valuable after you die? So you can't even, like, use it? Nice shot of the back of your head.
Yeah, the other Star Trek death that made me feel sad was when, what's his name? Anton Yelchin died.
Oh, yeah, that sucked. A lot of Star Trek-related tragedies. You know, for a while before they said they were going to cast, like, a super young actor for it, I was like, hey, you know, Anton Yelchin would make a pretty good Spider-Man.
Oh well.
I mean, while they were casting, and they were like, "Ooh, let's get Dylan O'Brien or Logan Lerman or the guy who plays PETA," and I was like, "No,
Peter?
no, PETA from Hungry
Peter?
Games." PETA.
Oh yeah, PETA from Hungry Games.
Yeah.
I still maintain that Hungry Games is pretty good. The books are amazing. The movies are a touch flawed, but they're still very good. And I still maintain that Hungry Games is better than anybody gives it credit for.
No.
The other YA stuff isn't that good, but Hungry Games is good.
No.
Yes. I will fight you.
I'll fight you. Sir.
I will fight you.
Why don't you come over here and say that to my face?
I will. Thanksgiving break.
You're coming back Thanksgiving break?
Yep. I told you this already.
We can hang out and watch movies.
Yep.
We can continue to not binge watch Babylon 5 together.
Oh boy, I can't wait to not watch Babylon 5.
Oh, I'm so excited. I haven't seen you in so long. I can finally push
And
you down
no.
the stairs for that thing you said.
And no, it's not Twilight, but better acted. Twilight is... Here's the thing, is that Twilight is about the romance.
Amazingly acted, sir.
Twilight is about the romance. But Hunger Games has a romance in it. It isn't primarily about the romance. What I got... Would you rather read...
Mania podcast? No.
Would you rather read fan fiction or Ernest Cline? Oh boy, that's hard. Fan fiction, because
I'm still mad at them for spoiling Stranger Things season 2. Yeah. Anyway,
banish him from the Discord server for that.
Bam!
I could do it. I'm a mod
Have
technically.
you heard of the Fables / Wolf Among Us? I actually have a bunch of Fables comic books I haven't read yet, but Wolf Among Us is my favorite Telltale game that they've done so far, and I'm very happy that they're doing a season 2 finally, because I feel like that's way overdue. David, what is your favorite Star Trek series?
The Next Generation, easily. I love The Next Generation, but there's some really good episodes of Star Trek Voyager and Star Trek The Next Deep Space Nine. Like, Xavier can tell you he watched In the Pale Moonlight, which is a Deep Space Nine episode, which is pretty rad, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Deep Space Nine is the one with the captain who's...
The Blackman.
Okay, you said it before I did. All right, cool. Yeah, I like that episode because wasn't that the one where they frame someone for murder to like avoid it, like create an international incident, but that'll like kind of...
Well, the whole purpose was to get the Romulans into the war because the Klingons and the Federation couldn't win against the Dominion on their own. And then they go up to some really shady stuff to get that happening.
What? I'm not whispering very rude things. My dogs are upstairs barking, and I wish I could close the door, but I can't.
Why?
Because the cats need to get down here because it's where their food is.
They don't need to eat.
They kind of do, though.
No, animals don't need to eat.
Okay,
Thoughts on Doctor Who? He doesn't like it. I like it.
Look, I have one right here. His
Oh,
name
it's
is
the Mochi.
Monkey. He's 4 months old. We adopted him from a parking lot.
No, not literally, but
He's my friend.
he is a cool, good catness.
He's probably like in a couple of episodes of Couch Potatoes, but as like a small kitten that's like
He
this
is,
big.
but I haven't edited them yet.
You are taking way too long to edit those.
Look, my files got destroyed, so there's another one.
So there's an...
I'm editing it right now. I just have school.
You're a school. Xavier, would you want a Spider-Man
Yeah,
game? No.
Yeah, I'm going to a real movie. I'm going to real
Explain
school.
why you
You're
hate
just
the Ultimate Spider-Man show, Xavier. Well, the sense of humor is obnoxious and not very fitting for Spider-Man. I kind of hate that they put him in charge of a team of like young Avengers, but made them kind of useless and not really important. I think also that the voice actor I don't like very much, Drake Bell. I mean, he's great in Drake and Josh, but as Spider-Man, he just doesn't fit at all. The action scenes just kind of bore me.
So you're just joshing and Drake and Josh. Can David please strap you to a chair and force you to watch Doctor Who? Who says I haven't done that already?
He kind of did, actually.
It didn't work, but I did it.
I just kind of got bored and stopped paying attention, and I just started staring at the floor. Some about some kind of space Titanic, and I was like 2 minutes into the episode, like, they ripped this off from Futurama.
But they did it better than Futurama because Doctor Who actually made you feel things.
Made me feel bored.
Well, it made me feel things that were actually, like, feelings.
Okay, hold on. Let's check more questions.
No!
Xavier, are you Spider Jake's dad? In an
Yes.
alternate universe, probably. Would I rather have a Spider-Man 2099 or Spider-Man Noir show? Or movie. 2099 is better. What's the best
So basically,
Showa
so
Godzilla movie besides the original? Jeez.
Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 2.
Oh, you mean Godzilla against Mechagodzilla?
Yes.
Those titles get really weird. Twilight is trash. Very perceptive of you. It's a very hot take.
Thanks for getting your hot take from 2011. I missed the Twilight jokes from 2011 that actually, like, remember when Twilight was actually a thing that people cared about?
Hold on, let me scroll back up. Which era of the Doctor did you watch? Because some are better than the others. The one where
David Tennant.
The creepy guy from the Jessica Jones.
Can you tie the David on the chair and make him watch that god-awful Batman and Robin movie? Who says I haven't already watched the Batman and Robin movie?
That's like
and
his
who says I don't
movie.
love it?
It's his favorite.
I love it. The Iceman cometh. Who killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. I love that. You're not going to put me in the cooler. I love it so much.
David, how do you feel about the new Doctor?
At this point, Doctor Who hasn't been good pretty much since David Tennant left, so I don't really care anymore. I don't think it's going to be any better or any worse. I'm curious to see what the new showrunner does, but I'm not very optimistic. I'm just giving up on Doctor Who at this point. It's been sucking for years.
If any superhero hasn't gotten a game yet, could get a game, who would it be and why? Well, I want to say Moon Knight because he's one of my favorites, but I feel like that would just be like basically a copy and paste of a Batman Arkham game because they're so similar in terms of like combat and stealth and shit. Has the Flash?
George Clooney is the best Batman.
The Flash could have a pretty cool video game.
The Flash Are you excited for the new that's set for March 2019? Or no, it's Valentine's Day 2019. Gambit's back on, baby. Are you excited?
No, sir. I'm not excited because I don't like Channing Tatum, and I don't think Gambit is particularly interesting. I've read a couple of books with him, and it's it never caught me as a character. But that's my personal preference. I'm not saying it's objectively going to be bad or Gambit is bad.
Doug Liman was going to direct it for a while. I was interested because Doug Liman, but then Doug Liman left for Dark Universe, and then he left for Chaos Walking.
Xavier,
which is currently...
what is your favorite Deadpool story? Probably like the first 30 issues of the very
movie.
First Deadpool
series. No,
series.
the game. He loves the game most of all. Right?
No. Well, anyway, probably the first 30 issues of the series by Joe Kelly is really good. I like that one. I also like Deadpool Merc with a Mouth. It was like this short mini series that was like, I think like 15 issues or something. That was really good.
Good.
What's your favorite Spider-Man movie? I don't know.
None of them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been
the
a perfect
superior method of enjoying Spider-Man. At this point, it is in my heart, I believe wholeheartedly, that the cartoons, the video games, and the movies will always pale in comparison, for me, this is not for everyone, but for me, to the comics. I think reading Spider-Man, not currently, current Spider-Man comics are garbage. Dan Slott and Chip Zdarsky have no idea.
Read JMS Spider-Man.
JMS Spider-Man is generally really solid. J.M. DeMatteis, a lot of other writers, like that other one who did the Spectacular series from like 2002 or something. I think Spider-Man comics are probably more interesting to me than any other medium. So I don't know. I really just don't have an opinion on the movies anymore. They're a thing that exists.
The movies?
Are you going to review Ultimate Alliance 2? No, why would I ever do that?
I think we've talked...
That's a dumb idea, reviewing Ultimate Alliance 2.
I think we've talked to death about a Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that a lot of people just sort of force themselves to like Spider-Man Homecoming. I think it's got some flaws, a lot of flaws, and also I'm kind of tired of it because I'm just tired of MCU movies in general. So I think that it's also the third Spider-Man reboot. And it's the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, ASM 1, ASM 2. It's the 6th movie. It's the 6th Spider-Man movie, and it's like the 14th MCU movie or something. So we're kind of all getting sick of it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we've explained pretty extensively in other podcasts why MCU movies are not bad.
Not good.
Still kind of grating because it's starting to feel very samey. It's starting to feel like you're seeing the same movie on a loop, just because they are very, like, they just, the tone, the writing style, the action scenes, the colors, the cinematography, everything is always pretty much the same. And I understand that you need to regulate it so that there's not, like, brand confusion, like everyone can go
like
into
DC.
a Marvel movie. Yeah, like DC. Those movies are all over the place in terms of tone. Like Wonder Woman is one thing, but Batman v Superman is a totally different thing.
And then Suicide Squad is just garbage.
That's debatable. I'm not a big fan of that one because I think it fails a lot at basic filmmaking rules.
Yeah.
But
it's just poorly put together. It's got awful performances. It's got unlikable characters, and the plot is terrible. Also, there's no action scenes.
Hold on. Will I ever live stream Injustice 2? Xavier in all caps. No. Or maybe. I mean, I already did once with Josh. But, if you go check out my other live streams. I do, now that I've finally figured out how to use OBS, I do want to do a playthrough of Batman Arkham Asylum. And just give my thoughts on it while I'm playing. Kind of like an elongated review / let's play. But while I'm also interacting with chat. And I'm thinking about starting that tomorrow. But Andrexman, or Andre X-Man, however you pronounce it. If you're still in the stream, I wanted to ask you if you could help me come up with Andrexy. If you could help me come up with another stream overlay.
You could say Andre.
Andre, yeah, alright. What's your opinion of Beware the Batman? I only watched like one episode and it seemed alright, but I was just kind of like put off by the animation style because I thought Batman's head looked really weird. Which is like a stupid complaint, but still.
Just Beware of the Batman.
What do you think of the new Spidey cartoon on Disney? Gee, I don't get asked this every 5 minutes.
I don't watch it, so I don't know. I mean, if you were asking me, I don't know.
I've watched like one episode, didn't like it. I mean, it was alright, it wasn't terrible, I just don't feel like watching any more of it. You see, here's the thing. People sometimes misunderstand what it means to be a fan of something. They think like just because it has Spider-Man in the title, you need to all watch every single episode of it so you can complain about it. If the show looks like garbage and you don't want to watch it, you can just not watch it. Like, granted, you don't get to complain about it because you haven't seen it, but it just doesn't look interesting to me, and I'm not gonna waste time watching a show I'm like 90% sure I'm not gonna enjoy just because it has Spider-Man in it. You know, like it's a waste of time. It's like reading all of the Dan Slott Marvel comics from.
Okay.
Because
let me have a rant here about this.
Okay.
So this is how not to be a fan. So I've, as some people might be aware of, I actually have family. Yes, I'm not a robot. So my brother is a huge Star Wars fan, and this is how not to be a fan, by the way. So here is the here's what he said to me. So he went and saw Rogue One. Let's see, probably 3 times. Once in theaters on opening weekend, then in like IMAX 3D, and then again. And then he said, "I'll see it once if it's good, and twice if it's bad." No. I'll see it once if it's bad, twice if it's good. Sorry, mixed up. I thought he was saying twice if it's bad because he saw Rogue One and he thought that was good. So understandable. Yeah. But you get my point. That's not what you should do. You should, just because you're a fan doesn't mean you have to like everything or buy every toy or see every movie. You still need to be an intelligent person who thinks about things. It just means that you like something. That's all it really means.
Yeah.
So don't do what my brother does and see a movie just because it's got the name on it.
Just because
if you ask me, that's the
logo on the front. Like, oh, it's a Star Wars movie. I'm obligated to see it.
If you ask me, that's why Star Wars is so crappy these days, is because they don't have to try. They just know they're going to get you to see it.
If you have a Star Wars movie, it's going to make $1 billion or more no matter what you do. You can do literally anything. And if it has Star Wars on the front, and if the trailer is edited to look really nostalgic, like stuff everyone recognizes, it doesn't matter what the actual movie's about. $1 billion. Like, it's just,
you know... That's what's going to happen.
You don't have to put any thought into it. I don't think the new Star Wars movies are complete garbage or anything. I'm not.
I don't think they're garbage. They're just completely and utterly creatively bankrupt. All they're doing is like retreading the movie.
Episode 7 was just a remake of Episode 4.
And Episode 8 is going to be a remake of Episode 5.
I think there was already a scene with like the walkers in the snow and then the ships flying at them. I can already see them reenacting the opening on Hoth.
And then it's going to, and instead of, and of course, it's going to be Yoda, and instead of Yoda and Luke, it's Luke and
Rey.
Mary Ray. I'm sorry, Mary Sue, but whatever.
You tried. Xavier, remember Seth's Discord server madness? Yeah, he talked about that earlier. Oh hey, Levianist. Hold on, some people are telling me to turn up my mix sense. Oh, 1 sec. How do I do that? Is it this? Do I do this?
Yes, just shout louder.
Okay. Like, should I just be louder? Is that fine?
Yes.
Everyone type in the chat, Alex has good microphone quality, if it's working.
I have the mics.
It's like one of those infinite mirror elevators that make me have panic attacks. You see? Where it just keeps going and getting smaller. Yes, Xavier. That doesn't really help. Alex has good microphone quality. Alright, if I'm just louder, it works. I needed to stop talking quiet.
Yay!
Are you done?
No. Are you?
You know, I haven't eaten in like 23 hours. I should probably eat food soon.
Well, since when is this unusual for you?
I don't know. I should start taking care of myself better. I keep forgetting to eat.
Yeah, you should.
My sleep schedule is garbage. I'm sick all the time.
Well,
I'm still recovering from that cold, but I think all the...
I have to get up at a certain time.
I think all
for classes.
The sleeping I did today, because I've been... I basically woke up like 30 minutes before we started trying to stream, more or less, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a kid. So there's a kid on my hall who like last like a week ago or something like that. He got up for his 8 o'clock class, and then he had to take a nap, and then he slept through the rest of his classes that day. So did you hear that or not?
Anyway, oh, now you have a hoodie. Look out, everyone. He's a cool guy in the 90s. Yo, my name's Ben Riley, y'all. Anyway, let's see what else. Alex has good McQuality with an O. Alright, cool. That's helpful. Thanks, everyone. Hi, Damien. My buddy Levanist is in here. He's a cool dude. Xavier, what is your favorite run on the Daredevil comics? I haven't read enough of them. I know this is going to be a controversial statement, but I did like the ones that Kevin Smith wrote kind of in like the beginning of Volume 2 with the death of Karen Page. It's not really a spoiler because it happened in like 2001. And if you don't know that happened, then it's okay to spoil things if they're 16 years old, okay?
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Xavier?
Look, everyone, David is edgy. Man, I can't wait for everyone in the chat to say that you're gonna shoot up a school.
Don't make jokes like that.
A thug
because you know where we live.
The hood. Rip monetization. Xavier, what do you plan on reviewing? SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom or the SpongeBob movie game? Where? What? Huh? What? Bullseye has a habit of killing Daredevil's girlfriends. Yeah.
Why doesn't he just kill Daredevil?
Who the F is Karen Page? You watch Daredevil.
What is your opinion on Daredevil season 1 and 2? One's good, 2's kind of okay. It falls off at the second half.
Season 1 is probably the most solid single season of a TV show I've ever seen.
Except for Jessica Jones.
Yeah, Jessica Jones I really liked. This not everyone agrees with
me on that. And I think season 3 of Babylon 5 is pretty amazing, but you haven't seen it because you're not cool enough to watch good TV.
I mean, I wish I was this cool guy with his hoodie over here and his glasses.
Yeah, I've got my hoodie.
Here, look, I'm gonna put on a hoodie too. I'm gonna.
Yeah, put it on. Put it on.
It's my signature hoodie that's in all of the fan art.
Put it on. Put it on.
That's like the opposite of what you should be chanting.
Put on the hood as well.
Put on the glasses, and then we just start fighting in an alley. I love that movie. Hey, look, everyone! It's the hoodie from The Things. Remember?
Put on the hood. Put on the hood. Yes, I have a neck beard because I'm dressing up as Riker, and Riker has a neck beard. I'm planning to shave it.
To that Halloween costume. I'm proud of
I'm planning to shave it right after Halloween though, because I don't like neck beards normally. So
for the sake of a costume, you could have one, but
yeah, I'm doing it for the sake of a costume.
Okay, hold on. Other people are asking questions.
Don't answer them.
Have you heard there's a horror movie based on the X-Men franchise? It's called X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Well, that's not a horror movie. That's a comedy.
That's pretty good.
That's not a horror movie. That's a comedy.
You know, I saw something funny once where someone said that it seems more like the X-Men Origins movie is a tie-in for the game than the other way around. Because the game is so much better.
No, X-Men Origins is not a comedy. Do you remember that stair scene with the ladders?
Oh, the ladder where he has these, like, it looks like a scene from Roger Rabbit because his claws are so badly superimposed and he's just going, ha, 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 and the fire escape is falling down and just getting, like, it makes no sense how he's cutting it like that, but just, It looks so goofy, and it's the worst.
So amazing. How can you say that that's not a comedy?
Oh, my buddy Damien asks, what do I think of Deceased Hero?
Never heard of it.
I'm wearing a Deceased... I told you about it before we started recording.
I've never heard of this
Deceased Hero
before.
is my personal favorite superhero. I'm wearing my Deceased Hero hoodie right now. David is the Unabomber. Yeah, I'd buy it.
That was before I was born, probably. Unless it happened after I was born, in case it didn't happen.
It's weird being like delayed on the stream, because sometimes I look at it and then I look over here and I'm looking back at myself, and it cuts to different things. Hold on, this apparently my phone is like super behind on whatever's happening. Okay, more questions.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what's happening
Look
sooner.
at your
because
Discord
you don't need
server
to.
for once. I will when we're done with this. Not right
Is
now.
David the question? What's the question?
The Question? I know there's
Yeah.
a DC character called The Question.
Look him up.
Right now?
Yes, right now.
Okay. The Question. Here we go. He's this guy.
Wah!
He
I have a t-shirt underneath my jacket.
He has no face. He runs around and he solves crimes with his lack of face.
So I don't have a face.
He believes in conspiracy theories about how the government is working for aliens or some BS. And Rorschach is actually technically based on him, because Alan Moore wanted to write a book with DC characters, but they're like, nah, you can't do this super dark, weird story with violence and apocalypse and other dark themes. So he's like, all right, I'll just make a character that's like similar enough, and that's the Rorschach. Fun fact. Hold on.
Fun fact?
Yeah.
What's the fun fact? What's the fun fact? Tell me the fun fact.
You're a fun fact.
Tell me. I am. I've got all the facts. Stop coughing. Stop.
That's
Stop
the fun
coughing.
fact.
What's the fun fact?
How long have we been going?
About an hour 20.
Oh, wow. Well, we should probably wrap it up soon. Xavier, I had to leave because of an emergency. Did you answer my JoJo and Hulk questions? I'm sorry, I did not. I didn't start looking at the stream chat until a little bit late. Are you excited for Daredevil Season 3? And are you going to play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? I've covered Infinity Wars, you know. I wanted to check it out. I've played it a little bit at this gaming convention thing that Josh and Kyle took me to. It was fun. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it, but it seemed alright. What was the other half of that question? Daredevil Season 3. I don't know. If they focus it more like Season 1 and stop trying to split it up between, you know, two completely unrelated plots, it'll be better.
I'm kind of tired of the whole Netflix Marvel thing. It feels really formulaic. Like, did you see the tweet that I retweeted on Twitter where it said "hot take"? All Marvel Netflix shows start out good, but then turn into a hot mess by the end.
I disagree. I think Daredevil Season 1 and Jessica Jones Season 1 are very solid. I think they kept my interest
from
throughout.
those two. But here's the thing: are those anomalies, or the regular? Because it seems like everything else hasn't been good, and there's more bad stuff than good stuff.
Well, I mean,
at this
Defenders, none of them have been okay. Well, I think Luke Cage and Iron Fist are pretty bad. I had a hard time finishing both of those. Defenders just kind of fizzled out and got like really underwhelming towards the end. Sadly, like it started. Yeah, that one I'll agree with. It started out really strong. Daredevil Season 1 started out really great and was like, we're going to have this whole crazy long arc with the Punisher. And it was amazing because, like, the actor playing Punisher is fantastic, and it's really well written. It's really awesome.
And then Elektra showed up and it got boring.
And then Elektra showed up, and then everyone... Whenever Frank Castle was not on screen, everyone should be asking, where's Frank Castle? Because he started, like, stealing everyone's scenes because he was so much more interesting than the other characters. So it was like, whenever Elektra shows up, you're like, okay, alright, let's go. Get through this. Alright, okay, I get it. Secret organization of ninjas, want to take over the world, blah, blah, blah. Something about being some kind of prophecy. Get back to Punisher. I want to see what he's doing. Oh, he's in prison now and he's fighting dudes in a hallway? This is awesome. And cuts back to Elektra and you're like, okay, she has a history with Stick, the same as, like, Daredevil did. You know, rough childhood. She's an assassin. All right, come on, Punisher, Punisher. Oh, he escaped from the prison. That's amazing. I can't wait to see what he does next. Like, it's so weird and one-sided. You only want to watch the Punisher stuff because Elektra isn't bad, just not nearly as cool.
So I'm gonna say that I'm not really all that interested in Marvel Netflix anymore because it's just too much of an obligation to watch all of these different shows that I'm just not all that interested in.
Yeah.
So, like,
when's the next episode of Bad Comic Art? Oh yeah, we should work
next
on that.
year.
We said
Probably.
we were gonna try and do it monthly, and then school started, and then I just like,
Well, I was willing to do it whenever you were, but you never...
Maybe as a joke, in the next episode, we should announce that it'll be a daily series, and then wait like another 6 months to do one.
Yep. Yep.
Are you excited for Paris Games Week Spider-Man PS4 tomorrow? No.
No.
Who do you want in Spider-Man PS4?
I don't...
I don't know. Not Miles. It's 038, so Paris Games Week. React live on stream tomorrow. If you had to pick one Green Lantern in the Justice League movie, who would it be? Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart? Either Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner. I don't like Hal Jordan. Xavier, will you live stream Spider-Man the movie game with Josh as a continuation from the first PS1 thing?
No.
Well, that's up to Josh. I think he's in the stream watching right now.
He is? Where is he?
I don't know. He just messaged me a couple of times telling me to speak louder.
Josh, if you're watching, say something.
Okay.
Can I die? Yes, you can. You can die if you want to.
Spider Maddie says, please answer. Oh, wait. Xavier, will you live? Yeah, I already answered that one. Okay. Jeez, these questions, guys. Can you review the Infamous games? Maybe. I don't know. If it's not necessarily, like, based on a comic book, I feel like it's not, like, people aren't nearly as excited to hear my thoughts on it. Like, the Splatterhouse review, for example, just kind of flew under the radar for most people just because they're like, well, this isn't anything I recognize. I'm not bitter about it. It's just like, yeah, I'll probably try and stick more to directly comic book stuff, but maybe there's a market for that. I don't know. We'll try it. If you could get rid of one comic book character, who would it be and why?
The Watcher.
He's already dead.
Oh, good. Well, make it that he never existed.
You know, I don't ever really blame the comic characters. I don't think any of them are like, I blame the writers for the characters being annoying, not the characters themselves. I think any character can be cool, but, like, if you're a bad writer, you just make them obnoxious. Like, I wouldn't want to erase Miles Morales from existence. I would just want Bendis to stop writing him. But if there's one character from a comic that I think is super obnoxious, no matter the writer, like, that's just their personality, is just being very
the Scrappy-Doo of comics, basically.
The Scrappy-Doo of comics is Nora Winters from Spider-Man. She works at, like, the Daily Bugle, or, no, some other competitor newspaper. I can't remember now. It's been complicated. Nora Winters is the most annoying comic book character ever, and every time she talks, it bugs me so much that I've just taken to just gliding past the pages with her in them. Like, I just skim read them, or just not even read the word bubbles that she says, because even if it, like, hurts the story, like, there's 6 pages of her talking, I'll just skip through them. made the like 2010 or whatever Greg Rucka run of Punisher way harder to read because
here's
she was
something
like a central character in that.
Here's something we should do. Hey, wait, stop reading the questions for a second. I have an idea. We need to do a couch potatoes of Ready Player One when it comes out, because we've read poetry from Ernest Cline, we've read elements from his novels, we've read all of it.
Were you reminded of Ernest Cline because I was talking about bad writers?
Yes. So we need to do a couch potatoes like we did for Valerian about Ready Player One. Would you be down to that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're probably going to be at school, so it's probably going to be like a digitally reproduced, unless we're on spring break. Might be we could do it on spring break. Maybe that might coincide.
We could try.
We could try.
Do we want to go to the theater and spend money on Ready Player One though?
It'd be worth it for making
really,
videos about it.
I could just get a box of old junk from like a toy store and then just pour it all over myself, and that's basically the same experience. Remember Tron? Remember Iron Giant? Hey, look over here! It's some video game characters you recognize. Oh my god!
They've got the rifle from Halo. Oh boy!
Look, there's Master Chief.
There's Freddy Krueger.
Oh my god!
There's the DeLorean!
It's like Loot Crate, but 2 hours long and yelling at you.
And directed by Steven Spielberg.
He's directing it? I thought he was only producing it.
He's directing it.
Oh, God. How long has it been since he's directed something?
He directed Bridge of Spies in 2015. And he's directing a movie that's coming out for the award season this year called The Post, which is about... the Post, Washington Post, when they did like some scandal or something. My favorite headline about Ready Player One: Ready Player One is a terrible book and it will be a terrible movie.
Yes.
Yep.
Someone asked if I want to live stream Dead Space. No one will watch that.
Yeah, nobody will watch that.
You can't see, but I'm crying a little because of the Dead Space playthrough.
Dead Space is a good game, but it's not very fun to stream.
I think it is. I don't know. It just depends on your audience. If they're not into it, they're not into it. Best not to force it.
Here's
the thing. A lot of the people begging me to bring back Dead Space, I think the number of them equals about like 30 people that are asking over and over.
Yep.
It's not like this giant audience that will watch every episode, like, and get it up to at least 1,000 views. Plus all the other ones got demonetized because YouTube is like, oh, hey, there's violence in that video game. So...
It's a horrible book, but I have some faith in the movie. Well, here's the thing. Since when has Steven Spielberg directed a good movie? Since like he directed good movies in the early 2000s and the late 90s, but since then it's been...
Remember AI? Artificial intelligence?
Remember those World War II movies that your mom made you watch, but you kind of got bored with otherwise?
Spider Jake says, I don't give a F about Dead Space. I haven't watched any of Xavier's Let's Plays. Well, thank you. Exactly. I appreciate your support. That's very kind of you. Please answer. If you were trapped in a room with Batgirl or Supergirl, what would you do?
I'd try to escape with their help. Probably.
I mean, if you got Supergirl in the room, you wouldn't really be trapped in the room. You just ask her to, like...
Yeah, exactly. Just punch the wall, and then you'd be done. Unless there's kryptonite. I mean, that's kind of my...
Can you Infamous one? A lot of people are asking for Infamous. Maybe I should give that a shot.
No, do Hulk instead.
Xavier, who do you think is better, Hulk or Wolverine? I like Wolverine a little bit more. I've actually started getting into Wolverine comics recently. Like, I read Wolverine Max first, just because it was short and it was a little bit, like, harder edge. Because I like me some darker stories. I like the Marvel Max stuff a lot, except for Deadpool Max. That's garbage. So
is it like Punisher Max but bad?
No. Or wait, Deadpool Max?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's no.
Like, what's the Max name there? What does that mean?
Okay, Max is just like this Marvel imprint that has no rules applied to it, so they can basically just do whatever. So if they want like nudity or extreme gore or cussing, like you can say whatever word you want, and they'll just publish it. So just like absolutely free of any kind of censorship. That's why Punisher Max is so like hard edge, and everyone's saying the F word, and everyone's cutting each other in half with automatic.
And there's the Irish people doing the Irish things.
There's the Kitchen Irish arc, which was awesome. So there's the Max Marvel imprint. I've been reading a couple of those. I think the thing that bugs me about Deadpool Max is that Deadpool is not even really the main character, and they make it his sidekick Bob from Hydra instead. Except they make them both CIA agents, and they mostly just run around doing really, really stupid things, and there's not really any kind of plot progression. Deadpool is like a complete non-entity in his own story, because he's really just there to be wacky and break things. And I don't know, I feel like the author wanted to write a completely different book that didn't have Deadpool in it, so he tried to make him as, like, useless and not important as possible, so he could do a book about, like, a goofy CIA agent named Bob, who's accidentally part of some kind of government conspiracy and gets framed for assassinating a politician or whatever. And then he's just like, I'll put Deadpool in there too, I guess.
Deadpool's got to put the Deadpool name in the side of the box.
I mean, it is kind of fun and cathartic to see Deadpool, like, finally able to swear, but he only does it, like, twice in the whole, like, 30 issues that had, so it was like, what? Why? What was even the point? If you have a book where Deadpool is allowed to say the F word, why would you have him do it so little? And I guess you could, like, say, well, maybe they had just a lot of constraint. No, all the other characters are cussing up a storm. I don't know.
You know, why don't I think let's give a little update about what's going on the channels.
I'm working on
the on my channel. You're working on the Hulk retrospective.
Yeah,
talk about that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'm working on a review. I can't tell if it's gonna be. I'm thinking that it's gonna be like 3 individual videos, maybe. But it's gonna be the Hulk 2003 game on Xbox, Hulk Ultimate Destruction on PS2, and then the 2008 game on Xbox 360. And I'm gonna play through.
So there's only 3 of them?
Well, there's been others, like there was this PS1 game that.
But you're only doing 3 of them that you're gonna count as the official retrospective.
Well, yeah, it was like with the Spider-Man retrospective. I didn't go back and review the Atari game. I only really talked about the ones from like the past 3 generations.
You played.
Yeah.
That you really cared about.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sure, there's like other people who went back and did reviews of the ones that I didn't really count, but really for me it's just like talking about the 3D games. As long as I can get a copy of them. I have no idea how to get a copy of that PS1 Hulk game, nor do I really want to, because I saw some stuff from it and it looks a little not great. But I got the review written for the Hulk 2003 game. That's done. I just have to wait till I don't have a cold anymore, so I can record it.
You can record the audio and then
without sounding all nasally and bad. That was one of the reasons that the Arkham Knight review took so long to come out, is because I had a super terrible cold while I was trying to record it. So I had to wait till a day where it kind of subsided a little, but you can still kind of hear it if you listen closely on the Arkham Knight review. And then it came back in like full force like a day later. And then over like the next like 2 weeks, it just kept getting worse and worse till I was talking like this, like my voice was so sore and I couldn't speak. So then we recorded the Batman thing out in that parking lot. So my Batman voice sounded really messed up and gravelly, not because I was doing a voice, but that's what I sounded like at the time. So it kind of worked, I guess. But for this one, I'm not really. There's not really a bit I can do that would involve me sounding like a ghoul from Fallout. So I'm gonna try and
Wait till you don't.
till I'm not dying, so I can do it
So
again.
let's see. On my channel, besides podcasts, what I'm working on is that right now I'm editing the new Couch Potatoes. So I'm going to be working on Couch Potatoes RoboCop right now. So that should come out as soon as I finish editing, whenever that is. And then after that, I wrote my little editorial on musical stuff, so I can talk about music for one episode just to see if anybody cares, and they probably won't. So after that, I'm probably going to start work on either a Couch Potatoes, or because I've got like 7 of them stored up, or X-Men Retrospective Part 4, which I mean, that's going to be bring up an interesting angle. What do you think? I haven't written a script for X-Men Retrospective Part 4 if you count it as X-Men Origins Wolverine. You think that if you're in the stream, tell me, do you want me to review X-Men Origins Wolverine?
I want,
because right now I have scripts through Days of Future Past, and I could just move on and working on X-Men First Class, because technically Wolverine's a solo movie, so you don't really have to include it as part of that list. But I mean, I can really put it on there if you really want me to talk about it.
I think you should do it.
But here's the thing: is that require a lot more work, because I'd have to watch it a couple of times to take notes and write a script, and then do the editing and all the gathering the clips and all that stuff.
It's easier than doing a game review, because it doesn't take 9 hours to experience it once. You know.
Well, here's the thing: I don't stay up until 3 in the morning recording gameplay footage like you do. So
that's true. I was up until God knows when yesterday, writing a script for.
That's a disadvantage that I have over you.
Yeah. Yeah, my sleep schedule is garbage. Hey,
Origins review would be hilarious.
There's probably not a lot of people now because we're boring. But still.
90. It stayed fairly steady. It's still at 96, which is what it peaked at.
Okay, everyone in the chat, please, if you have any kind of skill with Source Filmmaker or any other equivalent animation program, please let me know, because I'm sure you've all seen the Ultimate Alliance sketch that my good friend Scrubs Animate did. With the Iceman thing. Him and I are collaborating on a much bigger project, like something that's like 20 minutes long at most, and we are gonna need a lot of help. So if you're good at animating, or even if you're just good at like modeling, let's say characters and environments, you know, in like Blender or something that can be ported into Source Filmmaker, that would be helpful as well. So if you can model like the interior of a room, or if you can make a character model based on like some pictures, or if you're just like really good at fluid animation in like Source Filmmaker or something, please let me or him know on Twitter or on Discord or on YouTube even, probably, since there's like a messenger app for that now. We are going to need a ton of help. So if you want to participate and collaborate with me and my good buddy William, it'll be very nice. We would very, very much appreciate it. I think everyone's gonna really like what it ends up being, because most people ended up on my channel for a certain love for a certain thing, and this thing is very heavily related to that thing. So if you don't know what it is already by now, you can probably guess. But yeah.
It's Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. A Deadpool 20-minute animated short. Yeah, sure.
Yep.
It's totally that. Yeah.
So I think we should probably start wrapping it up. It's getting decently late, so. And of course, if we keep talking too much, Xavier is probably going to die, so we don't want that to happen, right? I mean, unless you do.
I'm dying. Hold on. One last time. This broadcast brought to you by the fine folks at T-Blocks. T-Blocks is an affordable subscription-based service that delivers custom t-shirts straight to your doorstep. With licensed art from Marvel, DC, Disney, Star Wars, Naruto, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and much more. You can get 10% off your first order with the special promo code GodzillaTBX, which is in the description. You should get some cool t-shirts. This is really cool. I got one. I showed it. It was cool. So anyway, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, tune in next time where we will read a Spidey Pool fic.
No! No! No!
Yes! Yes!
No!
Yes!
We are not reading Spidey Pool.
Yes, we need to.
No!
Yes!